Fight commentary breakdowns. Today we're going to look at Arabic sword fighting. They're using sticks, of course, so they don't cut each other. But I love that one's in kind of a more traditional type of clothing, the other's in kind of your modern type of clothing. So, just testing the range, testing each other's aggression. I like how the guy on the right has to hold up his clothes because, or else it would interfere with his own movements. See, he keeps. It's like the people who pull up their pants. He's pulling up his garb. It's really funny. This is a guy with a shield and sword. That might be a buckler. A few of you are telling me that thing's called a buckler potentially. So he's demonstrating some slashing techniques. So you guys can follow that. And then we have these two. Look at this. I think these are more drills, right? He's showing you, okay, boom, how do I cut? So yeah, exactly. So he's showing drills. Oh, I wish I could understand this. For those of you who understand Arabic, could you please translate this? Like, if you guys translate some of this and start your own channel and analyze it, you could potentially build a good channel starting from that, right? You always have to start with some niche thing. For me, I started with TFC. So, here's some more demonstrations. The same, I don't know what you call it in Arabic, but I would call it shifu or sensei. So it looks like I'm looking at Koro. Egyptians have something called Raqs al-Raq. I definitely pronounced it wrong. So that's not really what we saw. This is more of a wedding dance. I wanted to show you guys a really cool map. This is the Umayyad Caliphate. This was 750 AD. And so look at this. They've conquered most of the Eastern Roman Empire, conquered Persia, modern day Iran, conquered Iraq, conquered Egypt. All of this was part of the Eastern Roman Empire, conquered North Africa, even got up to Spain. And of course the Reconquista, the Spanish eventually kicked them out. The Christians kicked them out off the European peninsula. But this was pretty big empire. And the Abbasids, who came before the Umayyads, I believe, actually had clashes with China too. So since we're talking about Arabic sword fighting, it'll be cool to learn a little bit about the lessons. And of course eventually the Mongols came and kind of did stuff, right? This was the Battle of Talas, so this happened around that time. The Abbasids were on the eastern flank of the Arab Empire. So the Tang Empire was here. The Abbasids were here. And they fought on this little river area called Talas. So if you look here, right, this is the Caspian Sea. This is way further west than normal when you associate with China. But what this battle ultimately cemented was that this area, Central Asia, was going to have more Arabic influence than Chinese. And once the Arabs won this battle, spoiler, the Arabs won this battle. Basically, their allies, they had more powerful allies. And according to the Tang Empire, some of their allies actually betrayed them, attacked them from the back. The Tang Empire was a very multicultural, Buddhism-dominated culture. But once they lost at Talas, this whole area became more of an Arab type of sphere of influence. So Buddhism stopped spreading because India is down here, right? So Buddhism would go either this way into China or this way into China. So Buddhism was pretty strong at this moment. But once the Tang Empire lost here, the Arab world, like think Afghanistan, Pakistan, and all that. Some people joke that if the Tang won this battle, potentially Afghanistan, all of that would have been Buddhist. Imagine that. The thing is, they were strong enough, the Chinese were strong enough at the time, but there was an internal rebellion. There's a guy named An Lushan. He basically declared his own independent state here. So that's why the Chinese didn't come back and fight the Arabs more. Let me know if you guys like this type of thing where we take the opportunity to explore some history, because I think what Maybe some of this stuff looks silly or whatever, but the Arabs were really, really powerful back in the day, and they were only stopped by their own kind of, you expand too big, you eventually run out of capabilities, right? And then, of course, the Mongols came along, and there's lots of crusades from the Christians. So, but, even nowadays, the Arabs are a big force to contend with. And while we're having a history lesson, let's just look at one more battle. This was 1260, so this was more than 500 years later. And in this case, the Mongols were conquering a lot of Eastern Europe, and they were attacking the Mamluk Arabs here down in Egypt. And this was one of the first battles that the Mongols lost really badly. And it seems like the Mongolian kind of way of fighting worked well in open plains, but if the humidity was up or it wasn't in open plains, they would have trouble. So this was one of the battles where the Mamluks beat the Mongols. And they're the Mongols, right? Everyone fears them. And before this, the Mongols destroyed the Abbasid Caliphate, the same leadership that fought the Tang in the earlier battle we looked at. But that was hundreds of years ago. So at this point, the Abbasid Caliphate's really weak, and that's why the Mongols swept through them. Battle of Ain Jalut. Okay, this was Fight Commentary Breakdowns. We became Jerry Explores History, but this was fun. Talk to you guys soon.